Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
assholeconsultant.com. Go there. Give me your money. 10 Summit Suma. You could look him up on YouTube. Him and I kind of been internet pals for quite some time. And he sent me a request. Got the first request from 10. 10 here. I just saw this on MSN while working on the feeds and was going to make a video about it. May still do it. But then I looked at her up on Google and saw that she was 32 and thought millennial. Clarey would have fun getting balls deep in this bitch. And she's hot. I would totally fuck her too. I would hate fuck her. Because I know who he's talking about, but I have yet to do the Clarey test on her. So I don't know her personally, but I know exactly who he's talking about. I'm like, oh yes, she would need to be punished. And immediately came here to finally give you some money, with the request being that you go nuts into her ass for my entertainment. Here's the link. Alright, so I click on the link, and this is that gal, Elizabeth Holmes of Theranos. And she's on the news and the YouTubes and everything. Excuse me, I lost my voice in the previous video. So here's Forbes just cut its estimates of Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes' net worth from $4.5 billion to zero. Not long ago, Elizabeth Holmes was regarded as one of the world's or U.S. most successful female entrepreneur with a net worth of $4.5 billion. Forbes estimated. Today, Forbes cut that figure to zero. Holmes' wealth is entirely wrapped up in her 50% stake in Theranos, a medical testing startup she founded in 2003. So 2003 she started. That is, what are we doing? Today's 2016. Come on, it's the current year, right, John Oliver? 2016, that's 13 years ago. She is 32, minus 13, she was 19? Is that the right man? No, she was 18. Oh, so they were all over her. Oh, 18-year-old genius. So she's been running this business without a profit for 13 fucking years. I thought the banks I worked at were lax in terms of who they'd lend to if there wasn't a profit showing. Holy shit. But I guess she's a hot little blondie and a bunch of middle-aged men wanted to fuck her, plus vag, plus affirmative action, plus, oh my god, she's not successful. She's not a successful entrepreneur. I don't care what the market price of your stock is. If your stock ain't Elon Musk, I know Elon Musk, he did PayPal. He's more of a legitimate entrepreneur than this woman. But I'm talking Tesla. Everyone's, oh my god, Tesla. Dude. Still not making any money. Not a successful entrepreneurial investor. And I don't care how stupid the stock market is to apply value to a company that loses money, you're not successful. It's like these asshole middle-aged men that I worked with in banking. They had negative net worths. They were losing money, but they still drove around, rented BMWs, and leased out Mercedes. The privately held company in Palo Alto became a standout for its bold attempts to revolutionize the diagnostic industry over 13 years. It claimed it could test for 240 diseases from a few drops of blood, and for A-listers like Henry Kissinger and Bill Frist on its advisory board. He's just so cute. Last year, Forbes pegged its value at $9 billion based on the sale of stakes to investors. Since that lofty estimate, Theranos has been battered by bad news, starting with reports in the Wall Street Journal in October that its tests were inaccurate. That triggered an inquiry from the Federal Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, which proposed banning Holmes from the industry. Forbes went back to... So she was getting all of her money from government money. Forbes went back to its slide rule, and after talking to venture capitalists and industry experts, recalculated Theranos' value at $900 million based on its intellectual property and money it had already raised. At such a low valuation, Holmes' stake is essentially worth nothing, Matt Herper writes. That's because Theranos, other investors own preferred share, and since Holmes owns common shares, they would get paid first if the company were forced to liquidate. For once, owning preferred shares actually pays off. Theranos didn't provide a comment to Forbes. Oh yeah, I bet. And has yet to respond to an email from Quartz sent before the start of the business. And okay, so let's look her up. We're going to do the Clarey test on her. If you were wondering what the Clarey... We haven't done a Clarey test in a while, have we? The Clarey test It's how I judge public figures, particularly politicians, but it's a pretty good way to judge people in general. There are 4 questions you ask of the Clarey Test, and you want a low score. 1, did the person come from rich parents? If you say yes, you get a point. That's bad. You don't want to come from rich parents. 2, what does the person have a degree in? If you have a degree in a worthless degree, you get a point. If you have a degree in a real subject, you get 0 points. And then there could be gradations like finance or economics. Not totally worthless, so you can gray these out a little bit. The 3rd one is, do you currently work, or do you have any private sector experience, like significant private sector experience? If you don't, you get a point, and if you do, you don't get a point. And then where are you currently working? If you're working in the private sector, you have a real job. You're not like, I'm filming for this non-profit. No. Real job, producing real things that people want. You're not subsidized. No one's putting a gun to somebody's head to pay you like a taxpayer. If you are currently working a real job, you don't get a point. But if you're working a fake government, non-profit, touchy-feely, make work, government, affirmative action, look at your entire social worker, elementary education, teachers type jobs, you get a point. So, she's got her Wikipedia. I started reading. I'm like, no, I'm gonna wait. I want this to be natural. Elizabeth Ann Holmes, born February 3rd, 1984, is an American businesswoman. Please don't call her a businesswoman. Do not besmirch real businesswomen who actually produce real business, run real businesses, make real profits, and make real products for real clients. And CEO and founder of Theranos, a privately held blood test company. Holmes was born in Washington, D.C. Her father, Christian Rasmus Holmes IV. Oh, for fuck's sake. The 4th? Who the fuck? I'm never doing that to my kids, which I'm not going to have. Worked in the United States, Africa, and China as part of government agencies such as USAID. Boom! He's a rich, spoiled little cunt. Her mother, Noelle Ann Doust, worked as a congressional committee staffer. Connected! Boom! Rich. She has a brother, blah, blah, blah. Christian Holmes V. I can't slam on him, you can't. Her great-great-great-grandfather, Charles Louis Fleischmann, was founder of Fleischmann's Yeast Company. All right, these guys work disaster relief. They're all hooked up with the government. They all come from fucking money. Okay, all right. So 1, she comes from rich parents. Where's the education? When Holmes was 9, family moved, where she started a business selling CCC compilers. All right, maybe she's got an IT background. Where's her education? Okay, she dropped out of Stanford University. What was her degree? She's an American dropout. What was she studying? Where is it? And a dropout. Where was she? I want to know what she's majoring in. And a dropout. Are you going to play a video I don't want to play? CNN. Yep, there it is. They want you to listen to their videos. Bear with me. My father worked in disaster relief, so I grew up in a house that had pictures of all these little children. It's a really tough part of the world. Wellness Center, what was her major? Elizabeth Holmes. Alright, maybe we're just going to have to say she didn't, because that's interesting. If she was like selling IT stuff, she could be like this, IT genius. Elizabeth Holmes, major degree. Alright. Well, that's a staff reporter, Elizabeth Holmes of the Wall Street Journal. Different person. Elizabeth Holmes studied, let's do Stanford. Biotech. They don't say what she studied. Firm diagnostics. Oh, time on. After graduating from St. John's School in Houston in 2002. All right, Rich. Studied chemical engineering. Okay, so that's good. So she actually did go into STEM. So there may be some actual legitimate background here. So only 1 point from rich parents. Let's go back to the Wikipedia page. So we're 1 and 0, not bad. Worked in private sector, okay, even though it's her own, it's private sector, but we have to wonder if it's like a charity. And she's, God almighty, 13 years, you don't freaking turn it around? Theranos, Holmes established, blood testing. Its founders raised over 700 million, barely coming without testing. 18 patents and 66 non-U.S. patents in her name. She also listed a co-inventor of over 100 patent applications. Exaggerated reach, blah, blah, blah. See, and here's where it's hard to become, where you apply the Clarey test. Let's say you are a banker scumbag who, well, that's technically working in the private sector, but you were bailed out by the government. This is a company that doesn't exist and was bailed out by private sector investors. So I'm gonna, you know what? We're gonna give her a full point. She gets a point because she came from rich parents. She majored in the right thing, so she does get a point there. I'm giving her a full point for never working in the real world. I'm gonna give her another full point for currently not working. This girl does not. Well, let's give her only half. So she's got a 2.5 score because you did work in the real world. You had to come up with patents. I mean, she probably did put some real work into it. We're talking 2.5. That's what we're doing. We're talking 2.5. Maybe at one point in time she could have had some idea, some kind of goal, but given where her parents come from, it's all government, it's all aid. You know, they're obvious. Real work is beneath them, and we have Christian Ramses the Fourth, that kind of bullshit going on. I think she might have been led to think she was a precious little millennial that she'll just start a multi-billion-dollar company. Yeah, 2.5, not a great score on the Clarey scale. Anyway, so here's the lessons here. We've seen this, and I even made a post about this. This is what happens when you lower standards for anyone. All right. Now, in today's context of millennials, we lower standards for the youth, but also affirmative action for minorities and women. And this gal she's got everything. Rich, well-to-do parents, connected. She's a cute little blonde, and rah-rah female power going on. But the problem is she didn't produce. Now, what I fear, and mark my predictions, mark my words, how much you want to bet that this disgraced individual, who should have no authority to speak on anything, who should have just gone on to become a chemical engineer and produce something of actual value, not lies and hopes and falsehoods like this, how much you want to bet she's going to go on the speaking tour and talk about female empowerment? That's what I'm wondering. And just see if it happens, and then see how many people ignore this reality because they want to believe, like they want to believe in Oprah and rah-rah female vag. That's what it is. There are so many other women. There are millions of women who actually produce real shit, who are much better leaders, who don't lie, who are in STEM. There are doctors, engineers. Where are those people? Where are these true champions? No, we're going to go and champion Miss Blonde Hair, Blue Eyes over here because it's a media sensation and parents obviously have connections. So I'm sorry, like I said, let's keep an eye on this gal. Let's see if all of a sudden she's like going to go. So she had a TED Talk, for God's sake. Fuck you, Ted. Jesus, I don't even know who Ted is. Have you watched TED Talks? No, because I watched who they had on. I'm like, no, thank you. It's not up to me. So yeah, there's not much to say here. This is just another fraud. No different. This reminds me of the .com days. Like, they're .com geniuses. All these guys had the short haircuts and all that. Well, they're geniuses. They know what they're doing. And yeah, I hope she was like Bernie Madoff and at least got to enjoy a very, luxurious life, while the money was coming in. But that's so great that she has the common shares and the preferred shareholders get paid first. Anytime, Elizabeth, you want to start recapitalizing your company and have your stock price go up and your net worth go up, produce something that actually fucking works. In the meantime, stop relying on affirmative action and media to make it seem like you're a make-believe, wannabe businesswoman. Because you're an insult to true businesswomen. Best of luck to all of you. Toodles.